Hey everybody, it is Annette and Earl back again.
Hey guys.
For Behind the Vow. We are about 2 minutes late and we apologize for being a bit late, but we are happy to be able to
come to
again.
You one more time.
Bring another issue, one more year, and I like that, to bring you guys another issue, problems that we want to help couples in marriage. So what we fail to do all of the time is to say hello. So, and then introduce who we are. So this is
Earl.
and I am Annette. All right. Better known as a whole lot of other things. We carry a lot of other titles. But behind the vow, one thing we want to explain why we say behind the vow, and we aren't seeing people come in. Oh, yes, we are. Aisha. Okay. Hi, Aisha. One thing, the reason why we say behind the vow is because there's a lot of issues that exist before the vows that aren't addressed. And so they are one person's issue. And then when you say I do, now behind the vow, there are two people's problem. Right. So we come together, we work with couples and things like that to resolve the issues that they have, and the problems that they now the two of them have, so that they can have a successful marriage. So that is one reason why we say behind the vow. All right. Hey, Abria, how are you, sweetie? Good to see you. All right. So today we are talking about baggage in marriage. Baggage in marriage. And it kind of falls to what we have been talking about. What I just talked about as to why we are behind the vow. Bringing emotional baggage was one person's issue. And now when you get married and these problems are unresolved, then they are two people's problems. Right, and so we want to kind of touch in a little bit on, what that means, who should resolve it, who should fix it, how it comes to be one person's and then two people, and how that can just kind of mess up your marriage. But we want to talk about the different types, right?
Exactly. I know, babe, when we went away, the last time we went away, far away, we went to Hong Kong. We were blessed to go to Hong Kong, and we had a lot of what? We had a lot of baggage. We had a lot of baggage, and getting all that baggage on the plane and off the plane and on the bus and off the bus and up to the hotel room and back down became such a hassle, such a worry, such a pain in the butt. And much the same way, when we bring all of our emotional baggage into a relationship, we're literally carrying hassles, we're carrying problems, we're carrying a lot of things into our relationship that are going to hinder our progress, just like regular baggage, literal baggage hindered our progress in us getting around. This emotional baggage has the same effect on our relationships. And when we bring in this unwanted baggage, what we fail to realize is that we're bringing all this old unnecessary stuff into a new relationship. And we're actually dragging down our new relationship with unnecessary items that we should have just tossed out a long time ago. Right. I like that. And a lot of us, sometimes people don't even realize that they have baggage and that they're bringing it to the marriage or to the relationship. So what it becomes is the other person's bleeding heart. They try to say, well, I can help them. I can, whatever they're going through or whatever. And one thing that I have posted is you didn't break it, so you not supposed to fix it. Right. All right. So we are going to be talking about, let's talk about, let's talk about some of these emotional bags that we begin to bring into our relationship, and the problems that they can cause over the time and even from the beginning of the relationship. One of the things that I like to talk about, and one of the biggest issues in everything kind of falls under this umbrella is trust. This bag of mistrust and distrust that we like to put that one on as a backpack, and we like to carry that one around. And instead of baggage, we tend to like to wear that as a badge of honor.
Exactly.
And the fact that we choose not to trust, and the problems that trust alone, if we could spend all day talking about that one bag that we bring into the relationship. And listen, no one wants to say that you shouldn't be weary of maybe a spouse or a significant other that you think is moving around because you've been burnt before in the past. However, you can't have a relationship without trust. At some point, you have to let go that old baggage and decide that I want to be in a healthy relationship. I want to be in a loving relationship. And I'm going to determine myself to trust this person in order that I may experience a relationship like I've never had before. Who wants to be in a marriage where there is no trust? And I know there are a lot of marriages out there like that. We talk to a lot of people who've lived for decades and truly have not trusted one another. This is a major bag, babe.
It is a major bag, and it's one that people tend to unload. And we talked about this in other segments, that people tend to unload right when everybody's grown and last kid's out the house, and then they're like, listen, I can't help you, you can't help me, let's go, and they part ways. So the baggage, it becomes not just a hinder, but it becomes a hurt. Right. And so we want to kind of make sure that we dive into some of the things that, we don't even think that are baggage. So let's define what baggage is, right? Emotional baggage. So we wrote, it's an unresolved issue of an emotional nature, often with an implication that the baggage will become detrimental. So that's where we defining it. All right. So this emotional, and it's important to note that it says that it will eventually become detrimental, and whether that's detrimental to the person that's carrying it or it's detrimental to the relationship, I would say both, right?
Definitely both.
Definitely both. And even to some part to the children, if there's children in the relationship. I know nowadays we have children before marriage, and I that's what you do, that's what you do. But it's that emotional. And you know what? We hear a lot of people say they have the children, and then we say, well, why aren't you married? Because you're living in a marital situation. And the first thing we'll hear is, no, we got too much stuff going on between us. I mean, we have to wait till we fix that. Well, that's a good thing, and it's a weird thing, I guess. But anyway, so let's talk about the first one, the myth of happily ever after. So we walk into the marriage and we say, and we're expecting everything that was not possible to be possible. So we run around in our life and we say, life was just so horrible. Now it's going to be wonderful. I'm going to be married. I'm going to have my Prince Charming. I'm going to have my princess, my Cinderella. And you kind of go and you say, oh, everything's beautiful. But
not the case. Not the case. I know many people have in mind what marriage is and really have no idea what marriage is like. And you get in your mind that it should be this way and it should be that way. So when you get into the marriage and you find out it's not the way that you thought it was going to be, you become very disappointed, you become discouraged, you get frustrated. I think even more significant than that, babe, is when we're in these long-term relationships and we think that marriage is going to change our significant other. We think that all of a sudden those bad habits that they picked up are just going to cease and desist because now we're married. And that's supposed to be some kind of, some kind of emotional change overnight, some kind of snap of the fingers. Now everything that Billy wasn't, he is. Everything that Susie didn't do, now she does, all because we got married. And that in itself becomes the problem when you talk about the happily ever after, because marriage is not going to fix your relationship issues. I can promise you that. It's going to make them worse. And if you're not prepared emotionally for what marriage is and what marriage causes you to have to do and have to be, then you're setting yourself up for failure. I've always said, marriage ain't for punks. Nope. It ain't for suckers. It's one of the most difficult things you'll ever do in your life.
Yep. And he kind of, Earl just kind of went into the second thing that we talked about. And I posted this and I said, the right won't right them and the altar won't alter them. And so, you know, if you go on in there, like he said, and you're thinking that this is going to be wonderful and things going to change up for us now or what have you. You know, if he's mean, getting married to him, he's going to be meaner, right? You know, if she fusses or she a nagger, I hate that word, but if she a nagger, she's going to be more of a nagger because now she believes she has the right to nag. And so, you know, and we always say, I snagged them, right? And so they mine now I can do what I want. No, you can't. But it becomes an issue. So it does not change at all. But let's go to the person that comes in with the issue thinking that if when I get married, this will stop, right? If I get married, this will, you know, disappear or what have you. And what you do is you find yourself continually trying to do differently when you really can't, because that's something you need to get together yourself, right?
Exactly. I think we like to put a lot of extra weight on our partners, on our significant others, our spouses, because of our past. And the one thing we have to remember is that person that we married or that person that we're in that relationship with, they're not responsible for our past. They're just responsible for our present. We can't continue to hold those things from our past on them. It causes so many additional problems. That's when we get into it looks like my ex, you know, to compare your significant other now, your spouse, with your ex, right? Those things that they do kind of remind you of it. That certain way he smiles, that certain way he might twist his lip just a little bit, reminds you of maybe that abusive boyfriend or that gigolo for a boyfriend or whatever the case may be, and it takes you somewhere that you're not meant to go, and you're dragging down your present relationship based on past relationships and holding this individual that you claim to love now responsible for something that someone else did in the past.
And so that kind of goes to number 3, which we were talking about, which said you can't hold your spouse responsible, right, for the things that you endured in your past, or your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You know, and he I love the way he was talking about, you know, if he looks a certain way, then, you know, my old boyfriend used to do that. You know, it reminds us we go, you know, to the left. You know, I know this part is real sensitive because a lot of us, we come to that. But even if you came out of an abusive relationship and you go into another relationship, you hold that person responsible for your abusive relationship. So they can't raise their hand quick. You know, they can't run at you and hug you, because that's what when I was in an abusive relationship, that's what they used to do. They used to run, but they used to hit me. But this one is running to come hug you. So you're missing out on everything that this person has to give you, because you're looking for something that you want to, you know, that you're expecting to receive from them, and it's not what they have to give. You know what I mean? So it becomes very difficult for your relationship to expand, because that's not what they're doing. That's not what, you know, I used to, we used to deal with somebody, I think it was a couple, and one of the things that she would say was, every time he raises his voice, it reminds me of blah, blah, blah. So I tell him he can't raise his voice. And that became difficult for the spouse because, you know, it became difficult for the spouse because it's like, well, I'm just raising my voice because I'm happy or something like that. And so in that relationship, they'll tiptoe and tiptoe and tiptoe and tiptoe. So, and it's not only detrimental. Imagine living, you're that person that has all these issues and you're worried about your spouse and what they're doing, what they might be doing, what they might be thinking. How miserable a life is that? And not only is it affecting you, it's affecting them.
because in you, those kind of things, that kind of paranoia causes some very nasty little habits or things to develop, such as because you're worried about maybe them sneaking around on you because you were cheated on in the past. Now you're extra clingy. Right. Now you're extra needy. Or now you want to start snooping through phones and emails because now you're breaching privacy because of the issues that you had with Johnny or with Sally in the past. And now the things that you see that are reminding you of those actions that other person did. Now they've come into this relationship and they've developed and molded themselves into this atmosphere of mistrust that have caused you to react in a negative way towards your spouse or your significant other.
And it becomes very, very difficult for you to grow. Matter of fact, it's almost impossible for you to grow because you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. You just are. And so you have to continue on. In an old relationship, that was old. Keyword old. You're in a new relationship. So what is that person? And, some of us have the habit of picking the same types of person. They look like this, and we become comfortable with that same type of individual. I dare you to choose someone that becomes uncomfortable, because obviously comfortable isn't getting you anywhere. Comfortable isn't getting you what you want. Comfortable is not getting you what you need. But uncomfortable may be what what is good for you and to become who you want to.
And that's a great point that you mentioned that. At some point, you do have to ask yourself, if you're going from the same type of relationship to the same type of relationship to the same type of relationship, what is the baggage that you're carrying that's causing you to choose these same type of individuals? What is it about you that causes you to choose the man that always seems to cheat on you? What is it about you that causes you to choose the woman that wants to control your actions? What are we doing ourselves? What is it about ourselves that causes us to make the same mistakes over and over again, and not to be able to seem to initiate even and maintain any type of long-term, meaningful, healthy relationship that progresses, right? I think that's the key. It progresses. It moves forward. No one wants to stay in the same place with the same person forever. Right? I didn't want to do it. Maybe somebody else wants to do it.
And y'all want to.
Not to say that you get into a relationship with the idea of this is the person that I'm going to marry. You don't necessarily do that. Some people do, but most people don't. But what happens is over time, there's a progression, right? And you hope to move forward, and the relationship become stronger, deeper, greater, and possibly move on to something else. But none of that can happen when you're bringing in all this extra emotional back, or at least it can't happen very easily. And it won't happen very healthily. Is that a word, healthily?
Well, we're going to make it.
We're going to make it a word.
We're going to make it.
It's an Earlism.
Yes.
So we got to look at those things, what we're talking about doing when we're bringing in all of this baggage into our relationship. It's not just women, it's men as well. We have a ton of issues that we bring into relationships just like women do. Sometimes they're the same type of issues, but men can have their own unique set of issues that they like bringing in to these relationships.
And they keep theirs quiet. They keep theirs bottled up, because, and so they'll slip out a little bit, right? Or they, and most of the time they react to their issues. They don't just, it doesn't come out here, it comes out in their actions. Something's wrong, something they did, somewhere they went, somewhere they are, the girlfriend might have did something, wife might have did something, so they go and react to react the other way, do something they're not supposed to, take a drink, whatever it is, and they never let you know about it.
I think a lot of times with men in particular, you'll find you'll have a man that at some point wanted to be in a long-term relationship with a woman. He felt he got cheated on or something to that effect. And then at that point, every other woman he gets with, he decides that's not going to happen to me again. So he becomes the one to go out and do the cheating. He becomes the one that goes out and makes certain that he doesn't get hurt in this relationship. Yeah. And those kind of bags are what we're talking about. That's what we're referring to, those kind of actions that come from our past, but work so diligently to define our future, particularly in such a detrimental way.
Yeah. And you know what? It's very interesting that you said, you were talking about we spend time looking for the issue. A lot of us spend time looking for something to happen, or we looking for something that we specifically want to receive from a person,
right,
instead of taking what they have to give. That is a problem. You're sitting there and your significant other, your spouse, is giving their heart, their soul, their mind to you, and you're looking for them to give you something that has nothing to do with their heart, their soul, their mind. And so they get frustrated and can't make you happy. They're like, I can't do it. I don't know. I tried. Anybody had an issue out there where your spouse said, I tried, or your significant other, or maybe even you say, I tried, I don't understand, I've given everything
I know
that I know to do, and you're not responding, you're not doing anything. And sometimes it's because they're looking for something that you don't have, something that you can't, that you're not equipped to give. That's not even a part of your makeup, right? Somebody put a mad face. I got you. But it is just, it becomes that. And so you've missed out on what could have been a beautiful relationship.
You're talking about someone looking for a void to be filled from someone else, from my spouse. I'm looking for them to fill that void that I've been missing in my life. I'm looking for them to be the confidence that I lack. I'm looking for them to be the strength that I need. And that's not to say that my wife isn't confidence for me and she doesn't support me and she's not strong when I'm weak and to support me and lift me up. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I can't fill a void that I'm missing with someone else because I'm asking. Really, I'm not being fair to her, to ask your spouse, your significant other, to feel something that's already been damaged in you. Exactly. You said it earlier. You said it earlier. To feel something that's been damaged in you. And that in itself is a whole nother set of issues that are caused another bag that we like to pack. We like to stack in there and throw it on that cart full of bags. We got a cart full of bags at this point.
And one over our shoulders.
Right, and one on our shoulders that we're trying to carry around and we're pushing into these new relationships. And not only we're pulling them in, we're thrusting them on our spouse or thrusting them on our partner or whatever the case may be, whatever person we're in a relationship in, we're thrusting all of our issues, all of our problems, all of our mistrust, all of our misgivings. We're putting them on those people. And because of that lack of trust, we throw up the walls.
The walls come.
We throw up the walls that won't let us truly share who we are. Because we've been hurt in the past. And nobody likes getting hurt. And the walls that we throw up, the emotional walls that keep people out, to let them in just enough. We kind of crack the door. In the old school days, they had the door with the chain on it, so you could crack it. So we let in people just enough. But those walls that we put up to protect ourselves serve to keep us from experiencing the pain. But you know what? They also serve to keep us from experiencing the joy. Right? Walls work both ways, right? They keep out and they won't let in. And when we set up these walls, we're destroying our own relationships. And we don't even realize it. And many times we don't realize we're throwing up the walls. We're so used to having the walls up. We're so used to carrying that big bag wall, and we like it. We like to protect ourselves. And for men in particular, we call ourselves being strong. We're being independent. We're being self-sufficient. We can't be thought of as being weak. Hey, man, right?
Not gonna work, right, man?
Can't be thought of as being weak. I'm not going to do all crying in front of you. I'm not going to do all this expressing
Any men out there, tell me about it.
That's for the birds. That's a wall that we thrown up to protect ourselves, because we realize when we drop those walls, we make ourselves vulnerable.
Right. Demetrius, you out there, you want to agree with us? But, you know, and okay, so here is the segue to that. This half and half make a whole foolishness. That is not true. You don't bring your half and she doesn't bring her half, and then you come together and join as one. If you guys are coming together as half and half to join as one, I guarantee you're still a half and a half. You have to come to your relationship whole, right? If you don't come whole, then what happens is, thank you, Demetrius, he agreed with us. If you don't come to your relationship whole, then what happens is, if one person comes in whole and the other person comes in half, then this person's going to spend his time trying to fill the other half of that void. Right, that void he was talking about. So please, if you guys, I don't know if you looked at my little video clip telling you to come in. I said that I was one half whole of the of behind the vow, because when I came, I was not, well, I don't know, was I? Was I half when I came? Half? Was I 3/4?
No, baby.
Oh, was I whole?
You were whole.
I was whole.
You were whole.
I was whole. I was whole meat, right? Along with whatever maturities I had at 24, right? But anyway, yeah. But, you know, you coming in and you have all of this craziness and all of that's right, Kat, 100%. If you come in with all this craziness and this thing that you need fulfilled, then, you know, you guys will never be, well, I'm not going to say never. If somebody's willing to put in the work, then you can make it. Can people be changed? That's a question.
Can they be changed, or can they change?
Can they? Both.
Okay.
Can people be changed, y'all? Can they or be changed? Well, I always say, I don't know if anybody want to answer that.
I definitely know they can change. The question is, can you change someone that does not want to change? I think that's another issue. I know we're ending up on time. I think the baggage thing really needs to be a few-part series. Yeah. There's so much to go over.
But yeah, it is. I mean, and that's one of the things. I don't know if you guys have any questions about this, but this is one of the things that that is an issue, and that is a question. I don't know if some of you guys want to respond, but did somebody respond? We adjust to the partner. That's good. We adjust to the partner. Some of you guys, if you have some questions or whatever, throw them out there, because when we come back, I definitely want to respond to some of your questions that you may give us while we're going on broadcast. One of the other things that I did post out there is about a lie. A lot of us go looking for lies, right? We've been in a relationship for God knows what, and our partner was a liar. Every time they turned around, they lied. This was a lie, that was a lie, whatever. But so what happens is you get into this new relationship and you spend time analyzing everything that they say to make sure that it's the truth.
Right.
Here it is. I'm looking, and I posted and I said, a lie is a lie until it's the truth. So you don't go, it'll be a lie to you no matter what the person says. It's not that. But then when you find out it's the truth, it's no longer a lie to you, but it was always the truth. What I'm saying is, stop looking for lies. Stop saying that they're lying, unless you have absolute proof that they're lying. But this person that you're with is telling the truth until it isn't. Right. So that's one of the things that causes us like great pains in a relationship. One of the things that we're going to be doing as we go through in the next segment, we're going to kind of bring this back out. What we're going to talk about specifically emotional baggage and what that looks like. And one of the things that I'm going to be talking about is emotional unavailability. That is probably the biggest thing that we have going on in our relationships today. We are so unavailable emotionally. And what we do is we get into these relationships and we say, okay, I'm gonna love her, I'm gonna be with her, I'm gonna give my all. But in specific areas where we've been hurt and damaged, when she goes or he goes to that particular area, nah, I'm not there. I can't do that part. I can't be that part. And so we are definitely going to be going over what emotional unavailability looks like.
Yeah.
Where those parts are, so that you can understand that baggage, that's that baggage that sits in the corner, festers and starts thinking. You ever had, we had dirt, trash, that you can say, what that smell? What's that smell? I gotta find that smell. Emotional unavailability is that smell, that one you can't find, right?
Right, exactly. So, I think this is a very good start to the series. And like you said, we'll talk specifically about emotional unavailability and maybe a few other things, so we can address the specific issues. We kind of gave a big cursory overview of a lot of different things as a good introduction. And the next time we can go definitely deeper into some more specific areas. I think since we're coming at the end, I wanted everyone to remember that when we bring this emotional baggage into our new relationships, we're actually doing a disservice to our new relationships, because we're dragging them down with old things, right? The biggest fight is to be able to fight through our past and walk in our newness, right? Walk in our presence and into our bright futures, right? We're all shaped by our past experiences and the things that we've been through, and they molded us and they've made us what we are today. True. But that doesn't mean we have to allow those negative things of our past to dictate our future.
Right. And if you've been hurt repeatedly in love and by people, don't give up and say, I've just been hurt so many times, I'm never going to find that right person.
Right.
I really dig down, look into yourself, look and see what's going on with you, what you can change, what you bring to that relationship, and go to your next relationship whole, not hurt because you've been hurt. Don't go in wounded because you've been wounded. Find a way to be healed. Get some healing, talk to somebody, do something so that when the next person comes up to you and want to get in relationship, you're not expecting that this won't go into a relationship. You already doomed it, Right. So those are the things that we want you to learn about and to take with you, because it's about you and it's about the relationship. It's not about the relationship to be about you, right?
Amen.
So we are at time. We're a little over time. I hope that we have gotten some part of learning what baggage and bringing that baggage into marriage is, and how we don't release those bags and get rid of them prior to, not in the marriage, so that because I'm telling you, marriage is enough. Marriage is enough. You're going to, put your own bags in your marriage and then have to get them bags together, because sometimes you just got to say, I'm sorry, and take the wrong for the right. That can be a baggage you run around. I always say I'm sorry. I know I'm still talking, but it's a lot. But we want to make sure that we understand it, work on it, just continue to work on it, and not expect somebody to work on it for you. All right.
Amen.
So we thank you guys for joining us. We are Behind the Vow. Listen, you guys, do me a favor and share us. Tell people about us. put there. Tell them to like us. Go out and look. We love you too, Kat. Go out there and look and say, hi, Quandra. We're about that done. But go out there and tell them about Behind the Bow. To our old videos are out there. Like us.
Website.
The website. Our website is up. We're doing what are those things called?
YouTube?
No, not YouTube. On the website. I'm putting out blogs. Got it. Talking about blogs. One of those things I did put out there was something. I wonder if anybody read it. It was a way to talk to your spouse. I don't know if anybody read that, but a way to get a problem fixed. Sorry. So just wondering if anybody saw that. Next time. But listen, you guys, if you have any questions for us, please feel free to go ahead and email us at Behind the Vow. We'll get those answered. If you guys said anything in this thread that we want to address, we will certainly address it in our next broadcast. And we love you guys for your support. We are really looking to grow, right?
Definitely.
And we can do it with God and you. Thank you, Aisha, for saying that. I appreciate it. Yeah. Kim, thank you. We love you guys. They said it's over too soon. They said it's over too soon. What'd you say? 6 is here.
I said I'll see you 6.
Oh, okay. All right. 6 is here. He knows who he is. And so we appreciate Kat. We appreciate you, Christina, or everyone, even the ones we can't see. We really, really appreciate you guys. And we are out.
Gone.
Out. You guys enjoy your weekend. We are always here for you and we love you. Behind the Vow.
Thanks. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.